Misinformation, fake news, nonsense, whatever you want to call it. It's becoming a considerable issue these days, especially with the internet and how easy it is to spread this misinformation. You know, like 100 years ago, even 70 years ago, spreading misinformation was a lot more difficult to do on the mass scale that it is today. You know, you could, yes, publish a newspaper article, maybe a novel, or just talk to your mates and, you know, word of mouth spreads around and, you know, well, you know how rumors work. These days, though, it's a lot more dangerous. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry can get on their laptop, their computer, their phone, which is in their pocket probably most of the day, and type out whatever they want on social media. This can be seen by between, you know, 1 and, hypothetically, 8 billion people. Probably less than that because not all of those have access to the internet. Now, what's the problem with this directly? Well, if we have a look on this on the scale of news reporting, for example, there is a mass problem here, as anyone can just make something up. Say, for example, we take the news of Andrew Tate being imprisoned earlier this year, that quite a lot of people correlated to the young woman Greta Thunberg, the Swedish environmentalist. Now, quite a lot of people were saying, oh, it's because of a pizza box he had on the table, and the local law enforcement found out where he was because of that. This was simply made up by someone on social media, and it got retweeted because of the media age we live in. See, what happens in this day and age is there's one piece of information that flies. Quite a lot of the time it is reliable, but also a fair chunk of the time it's also not. That someone just made up on the spot, right? And as a result of that, people then reported on it on news articles, you know, on their YouTube videos and all sorts. Within 3 hours, a popular YouTuber called Ludwig had released a video about this said problem, and Andrew Tate and the pizza box was the main kind of subject of this video. The same did Moist Critical, again, another very popular commentary YouTuber, both of which hadn't really had time to do proper research, instead trying to get early money in on the new story that come out. Not bothering to research it properly, realizing, if they had, this story was complete bullshit made up by some random person. Now, people these days want to know things, and that's always existed. However, with misinformation, this also leads to incorrect data, and then also just knowledge that doesn't exist, as the case I've just given. Misinformation is also a massive problem that you've probably heard of due to American politics. Terms such as fake news, which has been popularized in recent years by the ex-president Donald Trump, has become a serious problem in politics. In the United Kingdom, during the Brexit vote, there was the whole thing that the big red bus, that all the money that was going to the European Union would be going to the NHS. It's complete bullshit. This hasn't happened. It's a complete lie. And in fact, quite a lot of the Brexit campaign for the Leave Party was just a lie. Made up hypotheticals that people were willing to vote for because their grass is greener on the other side. In reality, it has not been so far in the UK. We are actually struggling financially, unbelievably, due to partially Brexit, partially coronavirus, and partially the Tory party being fucking stupid. But enough of that. 30% of voters in America are what are called swing voters in the last election. And of these 30%, it is considered that 14% of them were indoctrinated or certainly fed misinformation that led them to vote a certain way. Again, 14% of that 30%, i.e. nearly half of it, nearly 50%, right, of that, is an absurd amount. Not to mention that those people that weren't swing voters, the other 70%, quite a lot of them likely would have been encouraged to vote a certain way, already being preference of, you know, independent, you know, Republican or Democrat, due to misinformation that was fed. See, the things with modern day elections is it's very easy to get social media algorithms to spread misinformation about a party that you don't like or a party that you do like in a way that makes them look less favourable or more favourable. The whole crooked Hillary lies that were kind of made up, and partially some of them were true, but a lot of misinformation was made up about her and her husband in order to make her less of a valid candidate in the people's eyes, right? A lot of it was also used by Russian hackers, which has come forward through many sources, that they actually impacted the election very strongly. So, the problem here is, yes, fake news, yes, misinformation, but also how quick this information spreads now with the internet. away from politics, just in more frivolous things like sport, misinformation's rife. See, people often use people that are trusted, such as, I don't know, the Sky Sports, BBC Sports, ESPN, or even people like Fabrizio Romano, who are trusted news sources in the world of sports, certainly in football. And people will tag Sky Sports as a source saying, this player is going to come to my club. There is no evidence for it, it is wishful thinking, it's manifestation. But because they apply a source to it, i.e. they fucking made it up, they can then say that, this player is definitely coming to our club, this player is going to sign for us, we've bid for this player, yada yada yada, you understand what I'm saying. It's just strange to me. People have always lied. I have definitely been a culprit of this in the past. There used to be a fairly compulsive lie. But what's interesting is how much this spreads just because one Tom, Dick, or Harry can say, you know what, I think this is true. I want this to be the case. I want to cause confrontation online. I want to spread misinformation. I want to make my viewpoint seem more valid by making things up. And it is incredible how few resources there are to counter this. Now, yes, you can look at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, who now all have the fact checker. 80% of the time, they don't work. And on Instagram, it's really strange because